today's mindful moment. Ever imagined a world where, like, a lost necklace could actually trigger a religious divide that would span, like, over 1,400 years?
Wow.
That's the power of, like, seemingly small events in Lesley Hazleton's book, After the Prophet.
Yeah.
Today we're doing a deep dive into the Sunni-Shia split,
Right.
unearthing the key players and
Yeah.
pivotal moments that shaped this historical drama.
I think Hazleton sets the stage brilliantly, capturing the immediate aftermath of Prophet Muhammad's death.
Right.
Imagine the shockwave that rippled through the Muslim community when their leader, the unifier of a vast and diverse Arabia,
Yeah.
passed away without clearly naming a successor.
It's almost like watching a political thriller unfold.
Oh, yeah.
This void of leadership creates a vacuum, and as we all know,
Yeah.
nature abhors a vacuum.
It does.
Suddenly, everyone is vying for power.
Precisely. And what makes this even more potent is that it's happening just 10 years after Muhammad unified Arabia.
Wow.
An extraordinary feat accomplished in a remarkably short time. Yet, despite opportunities for clarity, his silence regarding succession laid the very groundwork for the divisions that would ultimately reshape Islamic history.
It's like the foundation for this massive schism was almost inadvertently laid by the Prophet himself.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
The scene in the sick room with Muhammad's wives vying for influence and pushing their own agendas highlights the simmering tensions that already existed.
It's fascinating how Hazleton weaves together these personal narratives with the larger political landscape.
Absolutely.
This isn't just dry history.
No.
It's a human drama.
Absolutely. And this is where Abu Bakr, a close companion of Muhammad, steps onto the stage.
Okay.
He emerges as the first caliph.
Right.
And by the way, for those unfamiliar, a caliph is essentially the successor to the prophet, the leader of the Muslim community.
Okay.
Abu Bakr emphasizes his early support of Islam and stresses the need for unity between Mecca and Medina, the two power centers of the time.
Right.
But his decision to appoint Omar as his successor stirs controversy, raising questions about whether religious doctrine was being manipulated for political gain even in those early days.
It makes you wonder if these power struggles were inevitable, given the inherent human desire for control and influence, even within a religious context.
It's a timeless question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is where the Shia perspective comes into play.
Okay.
Shia scholars have consistently contested Abu Bakr's legitimacy, arguing that he usurped power that rightfully belonged to Ali, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law.
Ali's story is particularly interesting.
Yeah.
This is a man who was repeatedly passed over for the caliphate, despite widespread belief that he was the rightful heir.
His long wait, marked by frustration and a sense of disinheritance, fueled the resentment that would ultimately crystallize into the Shia identity.
Right.
Hazleton captures this sentiment with Ali's nickname, Father of Dust, which speaks volumes about the disappointment and sense of injustice felt by his supporters.
That nickname is incredibly evocative.
Yeah.
You can practically feel the weight of history and the lingering resentment.
And then you have Omar, who further consolidates power during his reign.
Okay.
This is a figure known for his military prowess, his strict interpretation of justice, and his commanding presence.
Yeah.
Under his leadership, the Islamic Empire expands rapidly,
Right.
shifting power away from Medina, the Prophet's city.
What I found particularly interesting is how Hazleton challenges the traditional narrative of the Arab conquests.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about religious fervor and brute force. There were strategic alliances, financial motivations, and even pragmatic diplomacy involved.
Right.
It's a much more complex picture than we're often led to believe.
Exactly. And this complexity underscores one of the book's central themes.
Yeah.
Historical events are rarely black and white.
Right.
There are always multiple factors at play, a tapestry of motivations and consequences.
This brings us to a pivotal moment in the narrative.
Okay.
The assassination of the third Caliph Othman.
Yes.
And the eruption of the first. Now, fitna is an important term.
Yeah.
It doesn't just refer to any conflict.
Right.
It signifies a conflict that tears at the very fabric of the Muslim community.
The assassination of Othman, fueled by accusations of corruption and nepotism within his reign, finally thrusts Ali into the caliphate.
Right.
But it also plunges the Islamic world into a period of intense internal conflict.
It's tragic, really.
Yeah, it is.
Ali, a man known for his piety and commitment to unity, is thrust into a conflict he desperately tried to avoid.
It's a stark illustration of how quickly things can unravel, how even the most devout intentions can be swept away by the tides of political turmoil.
Wow.
And it's at this point that Aisha, the Prophet's widow, enters the fray.
Remember the story about her lost necklace?
Oh, yeah.
That same independent spirit and fierce determination is on full display here.
Yes.
She leads an army against Ali,
Right.
fueled by accusations of corruption
Yeah.
and perhaps a desire for revenge.
It's a remarkable transformation from the spirited young woman we saw earlier. Yeah.
A powerful demonstration of the agency and influence that women like Aisha could wield even in the early days of Islam.
This really challenges those simplistic and often misogynistic interpretations of Islam that we often encounter, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And as we delve deeper into the story, we'll see how Hazleton continues to challenge these simplistic narratives,
Right.
offering a much more nuanced and historically accurate picture of this pivotal period in Islamic history. It's incredible how Hazleton reveals the psychological and emotional depths of these historical figures.
Yeah.
Take the story of Aisha's lost necklace,
Right.
a seemingly trivial incident
Mm-hmm.
that ends up having profound repercussions.
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
One small event setting off a chain reaction
Yeah.
that shapes the course of history.
Hazleton's description of Aisha's experience being left behind, the panic that must have set in, and then the social implications of her return with Safwan.
Uh-huh.
It humanizes her.
Yeah. And sheds light on the delicate social dynamics of the time.
And it highlights how easily rumors and accusations could spread even within the Prophet's own household.
Yeah, this incident and the subsequent revelation of the curtain had a lasting impact on the lives of Muslim women, contributing to the development of the veil as a symbol of modesty and seclusion.
Right.
It's a powerful reminder that historical events can have unintended consequences that reverberate for centuries.
It's like a ripple effect, spreading outward and influencing social norms and practices long after the initial event.
We also see a shift in power dynamics after the Prophet's death.
Okay.
A prime example is Abu Bakr's decision to wage war against tribes who refused to pay taxes after Muhammad's passing.
This seems like a pivotal moment, a test of leadership.
Right.
And a demonstration of how authority is consolidated in the absence of a charismatic figure like Muhammad.
Exactly. Abu Bakr argued that these taxes belonged to Islam and that refusing to pay was an act of apostasy. It raises interesting questions about the evolving relationship between faith and political power.
It also sets a precedent for the use of religious justifications to legitimize military action and suppress dissent, something we see throughout history.
And of course, this decision directly impacts Ali, who continues to be sidelined despite his close relationship with the Prophet.
It's remarkable how Ali exhibits patience and restraint during this period.
Yeah.
Even though he feels passed over and marginalized,
Right.
he prioritizes the unity of the Muslim community over personal ambition.
It speaks volumes about his character and his deep commitment to the principles of Islam.
Yeah, it's a testament to his integrity.
Yeah.
He chooses to support Abu Bakr and Omar, even when he disagrees with their decisions.
The narrative then takes us through Omar's reign,
Okay.
a period of both rapid expansion and growing internal tensions.
So on one hand, you have these incredible military successes that solidify the Islamic Empire's dominance. But on the other hand, there's growing resentment among those who feel excluded from the spoils of war.
Omar's policies, including his appointment of corrupt officials,
Oh, wow.
particularly those from his own family, further erode trust and create a breeding ground for dissent.
It's almost like the seeds of discontent are being sown,
Yeah.
leading to the instability that will eventually erupt.
And that eruption comes with the assassination of Othman and the outbreak of civil war.
Right.
It's a tragic illustration of how unchecked power and corruption can destabilize even the most devout societies.
Hazleton's portrayal of Othman's assassination is gripping.
Yeah.
The siege of his palace,
Yeah.
the rebels' demands for his abdication,
Yeah.
the escalating violence.
Yeah.
It reads like a political thriller.
It's a visceral reminder of how fragile peace can be
Right.
and how unchecked resentment can lead to devastating consequences.
And then we have Ali's long-awaited ascension to the caliphate.
Yeah.
An ascent that is ultimately ill-fated.
This is where the story takes a truly tragic turn.
Right.
Ali, the man who always championed unity and peace, finds himself thrust into a leadership role defined by conflict and division.
It's like he's caught in a whirlwind of events he can't control.
Yeah.
Constantly facing challenges that push him closer to the abyss of civil war.
Hazleton masterfully portrays the dilemmas he faces. Torn between his commitment to justice and his desire to avoid bloodshed.
Right.
It's a profound exploration of the moral complexities of leadership, especially during times of crisis.
And we can't forget Muawiyah,
Yeah.
Ali's cunning and ambitious adversary who plays a pivotal role in this drama.
Muawiyah was a master manipulator
Right.
who expertly exploited the political landscape and religious sentiments to advance his own agenda.
Hazleton doesn't shy away from portraying his ruthlessness and his willingness to compromise principles for power.
His cynical use of the Quran at the Battle of Siffin,
Yeah.
holding it aloft to halt the fighting and force Ali into negotiations,
Right.
is a chilling illustration of how faith can be twisted for political gain.
It's a stark reminder that even the most sincere religious beliefs can be entangled with power dynamics and personal ambition.
And it's this very entanglement that leads us to the tragedy of Karbala.
Right.
The events leading up to Hussein's death are both captivating and heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Hazleton describes Hussein's journey to Iraq,
Right.
fueled by hope and a belief that he could rally the people against Yazid's tyranny.
It's a classic clash between
Right.
idealism and the brutal reality of power.
It is.
You sense this growing dread as Hussein's support dwindles and Yazid's forces advance.
And then comes the horrific climax, the Battle of Karbala.
Right.
Hazleton's account doesn't shy away from the brutality, the
Yeah.
sheer scale of the violence or the emotional devastation that followed.
She captures the profound sense of sacrifice and the enduring legacy of Hussein's martyrdom.
Yeah.
The image of Hussein surrounded by his loyal followers,
Yeah.
facing insurmountable odds, is a powerful symbol within Shia Islam.
It's a testament to the power of faith, even in the face of unimaginable suffering, and a reminder of the human capacity for both unimaginable cruelty and extraordinary compassion.
Hazleton's account of the aftermath of Karbala is equally compelling.
Yeah.
She describes the grief and outrage of Hussein's supporters,
Right.
the brutal reprisals by Yazid's forces, and the enduring legacy of this event.
Yes.
It's a powerful reminder of how historical trauma can cast a long shadow.
And it's a testament to the power of memory and storytelling to shape identities and inspire movements for centuries to come. And you know what makes After the Prophet even more compelling is how Hazleton connects those events from the 7th century to the modern world.
Right.
Yeah, it's remarkable how the Karbala factor, stemming from a single battle fought over 1,400 years ago,
Right.
still holds such immense symbolic power shaping the political and religious landscape of the Middle East even today.
The book dives into the evolution of the Shia identity, exploring the concept of the Emaneh and the belief in the hidden Imam, the Mahdi.
This messianic figure who will one day return to restore justice and usher in an era of peace is a belief deeply rooted in the tragedy of Karbala.
Wow.
It continues to inspire hope and resilience, especially in times of oppression.
It's incredible how a historical event can fuel such enduring faith
Yeah.
and offer solace in the face of adversity.
Hazleton also connects the rise of modern Islamic extremism to those early divisions within Islam.
Okay.
She traces the lineage of groups like the Wahhabis and the Kharijites back to the initial struggles for power and legitimacy.
It's a sobering reminder that these historical grievances and theological disputes can have far-reaching consequences shaping the world we live in today.
The book prompts us to move beyond simplistic narratives and confront the complexities of history, recognizing how faith, power, and human ambition intertwine.
After the Prophet isn't just a history lesson. It's a call for deeper understanding, empathy, and a more nuanced perspective on the challenges facing the Muslim world and beyond.
It encourages critical thinking, questioning assumptions, and recognizing the interconnectedness of past and present.
So what does this all mean for us today? What can we learn from this historical drama?
Well, Hazleton's book offers a powerful lens through which we can view the ongoing conflicts and tensions in the Middle East.
Okay.
It helps us understand the historical roots of these conflicts,
Right.
the deep-seated grievances that fuel them,
Yeah.
and the enduring power of religious narratives.
It also serves as a stark warning about the dangers of religious extremism,
Yeah,
both within Islam and beyond.
right.
Faith, while a force for good, can also be twisted and manipulated to justify violence and oppression.
After the Prophet is essential reading for anyone seeking a deeper understanding of the Middle East, the Sunni-Shia split, and the complexities of the Muslim world today.
Right.
It's a book that will challenge assumptions, broaden perspectives, and leave you with a deeper appreciation for the influence of history.
This deep dive has taken us through some intense and emotional terrain.
It has.
What are your final thoughts on Hazleton's book?
Well, for me, it reinforces the importance of studying history, not just as a collection of dates and battles, but as a narrative that illuminates the human condition, our aspirations, flaws, and the enduring struggle for power and meaning.
If this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, we strongly encourage you to read After the Prophet by Lesley Hazleton.
Yes.
You can find a link to purchase the book in the episode description.
Don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more insightful analyses of captivating topics.
And be sure to share this episode with anyone interested in exploring the complexities of history and the forces shaping our world. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those minds engaged.